Okay, I'll just get this out of the way right now and address it. I am wearing a bandage on my nose. My nose has been breaking out very badly for the last, week and a half or so, yeah, that's why it's there. I'll say no more about it. So I really want to talk about Obsession. Ever since I saw the movie about a month ago, I can't stop thinking about it. I had a couple of nightmares about it. Shit, I guess you could say that I'm obsessed with Obsession. This is my favorite movie of the year so far, of any genre. As much as I fucking loved Backrooms, Obsession just has this haze of discomfort that permeates your life. Whereas Backrooms made me feel weirdly comfortable in the tension. Liminal spaces do that for me. I know everybody's been talking about the box office run that this movie's had, and the box office absolutely isn't everything, but it is impressive as hell that a horror movie has made more money per weekend. That typically doesn't happen. Usually when a horror movie releases, it does a good box office the first weekend and then drops 30% on subsequent weekends. Obsession not only had a good opening, but then next weekend made 30% more money, and then the weekend after that, 30% more money. That is unheard of for a horror film. What sticks with me about this movie is the entire concept of being utterly obsessed with a person. I have a fear about people being obsessed with me. As an aromantic person, I'd rather people were not that, but I've had experiences with obsessive people, and none of it was a fun time. Aside from that, there's also the fact that someone's free will was just ripped away from them. Curry Barker really slammed it out of the park with this one. This film is such a good study on both of these concepts and how they can absolutely ruin a ton of people's lives. Obviously, it's taken to the extremes, but obsession and loss of free will are something that can ruin entire worlds. Every performance in this movie is superb. Michael Johnson and Indy Neverett are incredible, of course, but Megan Lawless and Cooper Tomlinson are equally as great as they are. Everybody's talking about Indy's performance in particular, and I agree with what everyone is saying. It is such a top-shelf performance that if she doesn't at least get nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress or something, it will be a crying shame. Shit, one horror movie deep, and I'll just go ahead and call her a Scream Queen. I wonder if Barker had her watch any of the Evil Dead movies before filming, because a lot of her physicality, especially when she's Wish Nikki, reminds me of the Deadites. They also filmed Nikki's scenes twice. They did one take where she's into Bear and another take where she clearly isn't into Bear. And then they mixed and matched those scenes in the edit, which is similar to what they did with Willem Dafoe's detective character in American Psycho when he's questioning Patrick Bateman. Story-wise, the plot is fairly simple and it's been done before. It's a classic wish gone wrong, be careful what you wish for sort of deal that Barker even said was inspired by one of the Treehouse of Horror episodes of The Simpsons. The core group of friends, Bear, Ian, Nikki, and Sarah, feel like a real group of college kids, and they're all kind of shitty people. That's what I love about it. They're such good characters because they're such bad people. Bear's obsessed with Nikki, but is too much of a wuss to do anything about it until he buys the One Wish Willow and uses it. Okay, sure, he probably just thought it was some dumb toy he bought in a crystal shop, but the fact of the matter is he still thought it through enough to give it a whirl and takes away Nikki's free will. At the beginning of the movie, Bear is practicing a heartfelt speech about how much he quote-unquote loves Nikki on some poor waitress, and at the end of it, Ian tells him, "Nah bro, you can't say that, that's gay." Now I am being hyperbolic, he doesn't say those words specifically, but he encourages Bear to confess his feelings, but to do it in a super cool way, not a romantic lovey-dovey way. We learn later in the movie that both Ian and Nikki have been hooking up with no strings attached for the better part of 2 years, and everybody has just been keeping that fact hidden from Bear, knowing it would cause him distress. Even Sarah, who clearly has feelings for Bear, has hid that fact from him until she finally spills the beans way too late in the film. Again, these are bad people. However, that doesn't make Nikki any less of a victim here, obviously, and Barker does a very good job at not letting us forget the fact that our protagonist, Bear, is actually the villain here. Even after he realizes that Nikki is under control of some cosmic thing that's obsessed with him, he takes advantage of that. Bear does not care if the real Nikki is actually into him or not. He has her now. There are several moments in the film where this is put front and center. There are a few scenes where they're kissing and then the real Nikki snaps back to reality for a split second and is like, whoa, what the fuck? Before Wish Nikki takes back over. There's the sex scene where neither of them are looking at each other, and while Wish Nikki is making all the appropriate sex noises, her face is just a blank expression with tears rolling down her face. And the cherry on top of all of that, what really drives home the fact that Bear really is a loser piece of shit, is when he's about to go meet up with Sarah at the park, and as he's leaving, the real Nikki speaks up while Wish Nikki is sleeping and asks Bear to kill her. And Bear says, "What's so bad about being with me?" To which she responds, "I've never been with you, Bear." And Bear, like the little bitch boy that he is, just leaves as Nikki is begging for him to kill her. I really want people who somehow empathize with Bear to really think about that particular exchange for just a little second. And on that note, I just want to rant about something I keep seeing online. It's people acting like calling Bear the villain is somehow like a hot take, or that they want a cookie for having basic media literacy. The state of media literacy right now, or literacy in general, really is at a really horrible low point. Seriously, if you need to point out that Bear is the bad guy despite it being super fucking obvious, there's something wrong. The bar is truly in hell. It's like coming out of a Friday the 13th movie and being like, huh, that Jason Voorhees guy really is kind of fucked up. What a bad dude. This is a really tense, disturbing movie, and it never lets up on the gas pedal. You just never know where the movie is going to go next. It's equal parts uneasy, weird, funny, and creepy. Again, all of the performances are spectacular. I really hope I see Indy in particular in another horror movie soon. She's so good. I'm also eagerly awaiting Curry Barker's next movie, Anything But Ghosts. The premise is two fraudulent paranormal investigators end up in the middle of a real haunting. And the cast for that is stacked. Aaron Paul and Bryce Dallas Howard? Are you kidding me? That's insane. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Just really wanted to talk about this movie for a little bit. Perhaps at a later date, I'll go more in depth with everything. I've been meaning to get a movie podcast with my brother off the ground. We recorded 3 episodes like 2 years ago and just never released them, so maybe that's something you can look forward to in the future, but I don't know yet. I would like to, though. It was a really cool idea because he and I both love watching movies and we frequently go to the movies together, so it's like, why not? Maybe be on the lookout for that in the future. Thank you guys so very much for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this one, please consider subscribing. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.